from my gruesome visage at the moment. I shall risk your suddenly blooming into stalkerhood, and will tell you my surname. It's McKay.
Hi, Dalton McKay.
Hello, Kiya. I'm sorry I interrupted you when you were telling me something about lightning. You said you were struck by it? That sounds like a major life event. I would think you would have gone to the emergency room rather than a walk-in clinic.
I shrugged. I wasn't really hurt, just kind of a bit woozy for a few seconds, but then that cleared up and I was fine. Though I figured I'd better check in to make sure that my heart was okay, and that the lightning didn't screw up something in my head, that sort of thing, so here I am.
Indeed you are. He blinked owlishly behind his round lenses. I don't believe I've ever met someone who's been struck by lightning.
Twice. This was my second time, hence the comment about the saying being false. He blinked a few more times, dabbed at his eyes and nose again, and said with a little frown,
What were you doing when you were struck?
Helping a chipmunk. I gave a wry little smile. Well, gasping and heaving and swearing that I was going to get back to jogging regularly is more accurate. But the reason I was doing all that is because I was trying to help a chipmunk that had his head stuck in a plastic milk container. Little bugger could sure run, despite that handicap. I had to chase him all over a mountaintop before I caught up with him. I forgot that you're not supposed to hide under tall cedar trees when there's a storm. 1 minute I was fine, and the next, crack, zap, and sizzle.
Sizzle?
Dalton looked appalled.
You actually sizzled?
Well, my face screwed up as I tried to remember the event of that morning. Sizzle may not be the right word. There was kind of a scratchy noise when the lightning flower grew. At least I think that was it. Maybe the scratchy noise came from the chipmunk ripping the milk container off his head.
I don't think. No, I'm sure I haven't ever heard of a lightning flower. Is it a plant native to this part of Oregon?
No, it's not an actual flower. I moved over and plopped myself down on a saggy sofa next to his chair, pulling off the gauze overshirt I wore over a tank top. It's a feathery pattern that sometimes shows up on people who are hit by lightning. See? Supposedly it's from all the veins and arteries and stuff being lit up by the lightning, but because it's so delicate it's called a lightning flower.
That is just amazing.
Dalton leaned forward to examine my upper arm.
How very unique. And it doesn't hurt?
The lightning flower? I gave a cursory glance to the feathery pattern of light tan that ran down my bicep to my wrist. It wasn't like I hadn't seen the same pattern before. Well, assuming I was naked and looking over my shoulder at a mirror. No. Getting hit by lightning is a bit like touching an electric fence, only more so, but this doesn't hurt at all.
It's almost feminine in its delicacy.
Yeah, they're kind of pretty in a weird sort of way.
Will it last long?
Well, that's where it gets a bit strange, I said, making myself comfy on the sofa. I couldn't quite say why, but I was content to while away the half an hour or so it would take to be seen by the clinic doctor, by chatting with this man. I looked it up online a few years ago, and they're not supposed to be permanent, but mine are. It's kind of like a scar.
It doesn't look like a scar.
He leaned in closer, touching the pattern with the tip of one forefinger.
It looks like a henna tattoo.
It does, doesn't it? My foster mom says my other one looks like I drew it on with a tan felt pen. But really, it's just a case of me being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Again.
You should definitely give trees a miss the next time a storm comes up, he agreed.
I couldn't really help it. I was, kind of working a temp job. An unofficial one. I was helping out Lily, a friend who wanted to take a couple of days to go see her family, but she had to be up on top of a mountain watching for fires, so I said I'd help her out and take over her shift for her. We figured that this way she'd get to see her family at the same time that I'd make a few bucks and no